Okay. And are we ready to roll? Page 1153, tumultuous travel, 1930.
You want to start, Gene, or me?
Go ahead, please.
All right. Dake, Pendu, and Rustem were at the train station to receive them. Rustem had begun a fast 17 days before, on the day Baba left Nasik for his tour, and he now broke it in Baba's presence. Baba first visited the women mandali at the pigeon house, where he had his meals and took a bath. He came to Gaia's Manzil at 5 p.m., and devotees flocked around him, especially the boys. After giving darshan to all, Baba went upstairs to rest and spent an hour going through the accumulated mail. After his return to Nasik, the boy Biwa was added to the list of Baba's orderlies. Pilamai's son Vital was also eager to remain near Baba, and he too was allowed. Behram and Padre returned that night from Bombay. Baba sent Rayosab to Bombay to see Aga Ali's father. Rayosab was informed that Ali was unable to return from Persia because his mother was unwilling to send him. The father also demanded some payment in advance. Rayosab returned to Nasik on 13th March 1930, and a telegram was sent to Ardashir in Persia saying that if Aga Ali was not allowed to return to India, Ardashir should return. Meanwhile, the Kashmiri boy, Pandit, had written that he was unable to come to Nasik due to his school examinations. Pandit was sent another telegram to come as soon as his exams were over. On the 13th, the leader of the Harijans in the city came to see Baba and informed him of their resolve to go on strike for employers because of prejudicial treatment. He asked for the master's advice, which Baba gave. Hold on, continue to strike non-violently for 10 days, and your grievances will be met. My blessings to you. The man invited Baba to view the strike, but Baba did not promise to do so. The next day, however, when Baba was returning from a visit to Tapovan, where he had gone to celebrate the Hindu holiday Holi, he told the driver to drive past the temple where the picketers were on strike. Recognizing Baba, the strikers acclaimed him, but Baba did not get out of the car. He left after briefly viewing the scene. Baba was in severe pain due to the eruption of boils on his body, which had arisen on his return to Nasik. Walking, sitting, or reclining was difficult for him, and he had a lot of itching, despite applying ointment. Page, Gene.
Yeah, it's not responding to my touch.
Oh.
Oh, there it goes.
The boys and Mandali played Atya Patya at Tapovan with Kaka Shahani and Dake as captains, but Baba had only watched. After his return from Tapovan at 8:30 p.m., Baba had a sudden whim to have his arti sung. The accoutrements, sandalwood, incense, and ghee, however, were not readily available as the arti ceremony was not being performed then. So Vishnu went to the women's quarters to bring them. While waiting, Baba became upset with Vishnu's delay, and he motioned all to leave the room and stand outside. After a while, he called them back and asked, "What is the use of performing my arti if my mood is spoiled? You people pay more attention to the ingredients necessary for arti than to me. Are these things required when you are supposed to offer the arti from the innermost recesses of your heart? The things that matter for performing arti come from within the heart. If one's heart is not in it, what purpose would it serve in bringing all the necessary ingredients for arti?" His discomfort from the boils continued, which was a cause of great worry to the Mandali. As Chanji wrote, Baba suffers much from the eruptions. None can tell what all these sufferings mean or why he incurs such sufferance on himself. Anna 104 had arrived from Nagar the same day, 14 March, and requested that Baba grace the wedding of Anna's nephew in Sholapur. Rustam had gone to Bombay and he returned that night and reported to Baba. On the 16th, Shroff brought back 3 of his friends to see Baba, John Marquis, Dunjisha, and Baramji, and each was granted an individual interview. On Monday, 17 March 1930, Bua Saheb scolded a boy named Ramu for some mischief and twisted the boy's nose when he did not listen. Ramu complained to Baba, who told Vishnu to twist Bua Saheb's nose for breaking his order against physically reprimanding the boys. Bua Saheb became very upset and that night quietly left without telling anyone and began wandering the streets. Rising early the next morning, Baba woke the Mandali and inquired the whereabouts of Bua Saheb. They could not find him and informed Baba that he was missing. Baba sent Ramju and Rao Saheb to search for him. Finally, finding him at a tea shop, they brought him back and Baba remarked, "Last night I had blisters on my tongue and lips, and I was suffering greatly because of them. But no one has any feelings for me. On the contrary, everyone tries to give me more trouble. I have to arrest for the Mandali as well as for all the outside persons who come to see me with their personal affairs. And on top of this, Bua behaves in this disgraceful manner with me." Narayan Maharaj had come back to Nasik to attend the wedding of one of his devotees on the morning of 18 March 1930. Rustam informed Baba of his arrival, but Baba only remarked, "I send my love and blessings to Narayan." Rustam, Pandu, Rao Saheb, and Naval decided to see Narayan Maharaj without first seeking Baba's permission. Upon seeing Narayan, Naval asked him if he could bring his family to meet him, but Narayan refused as he was leaving Nasik soon. Shortly after they returned to Sarosh Motor Works, a violent argument ensued between Naval and a business associate. It was a terrible scene. Naval had to be physically restrained, but he still managed to injure his leg in the scuffle. When Baba found out that they had gone to pay their respects to Narayan Maharaj, he called Rao Saheb and reprimanded him. "Why did you go to see Narayan Maharaj without? And if you wanted to go, why go and I am here in Nasik? It is a general rule that devotees of one master do not go to another, particularly when they are staying in the same place. Not one of you knows why. 2 masters, though they are internally one, cannot be served. If you say you have no master except me, then why should you go to another at all, especially while I am staying here? It is against the law. It is not a small mistake. It is very serious. That is why I did not give permission when Rustam told me about the marriage and sent only my blessing. None of you could understand this, and the result of your disobedience was the rowdy and troublesome scene unnecessarily created at Sarosh Motor Works when you returned. If this fight had not occurred, all of you would have died. Learn a lesson from this and take it as a warning." There was a Muslim named Ghani Baba residing in Nasik, whom some believed to be a wali. His brother, Ismail Baba, had met Baba at Gayas Manzil some days before. I think we can switch readers.
Rosalie Marguerite, go ahead.
On 20 March, Gani Baba was persuaded by his brother to meet Meher Baba. Gani Baba had protested coming, but when he was taken upstairs, he was overcome and became very reverent, bowing to Baba, who gave him prasad. After he had gone, Baba explained, those saliks like him who are advanced, particularly those with powers, cannot approach me. I am too powerful for them. Their powers would be withdrawn. Therefore, they usually do not come to me. Gani Baba is good. He knows me a little. He is in the line on the path and more advanced than Mustan. And there's a footnote. The Mustan was stationed on one of the subtle plains. Rustam, Nauroji, and Kakabaria arrived from Bombay late last night. On Friday, 21st March 1930, Baba traveled to Sholapur in a bus with 11 of the Mandali to grace the wedding of Anna 104's nephew, Malaya Jakal. Among those going with Baba were Padri, Baram, Chagan. Chanji was ordered to stay in Nasik and look after the two boys, Biwa and Chander. Rustam was ill in bed, and Adi and Pendu also remained in Nasik. The next day, Baba blessed the couple and gave darshan to thousands who had gathered. One unique feature of his visit was that during the marriage ceremony, Baba remained seated like a yogi, wearing only his chadis, long boxer shorts. Leaving Sholapur on 23rd March, Baba proceeded to Pandapur, where he stayed for 4 hours. He then left for Panchgani via Satara and Wai, where he spent the night. His host in Panchgani was the principal of the Hindu high school, Kali Mama's son-in-law, Rao Saheb, M.V. Pandit, and his family, who welcomed Baba heartily. Baba appreciated Pandit's efforts and praised the family's devotion. Baba granted darshan to the students and then departed after dropping off Kaka Shahani in Ahmednagar and Vishnu in Kopergaon. Baba returned to Nasik at 2 p.m. on 25th March and went to see Mera and the other women Mandali. 2 persons had been waiting for Baba to return and met him the next day. Arjun's brother, Bala Sapakar of Pune, and the sannyasi from Toka, Shankar Pate. Pate had been on a long begging tour, but now wished to work. Baba instructed Chanji to discuss it with Rustam. Dake, Kalimama, Shraf, and Marquise also had interviews with Baba. Arti was performed every night at 8 p.m. at Gaya's Manzil, and visitors were permitted to attend. Afterwards, they were told to leave, and a private meeting, usually games, music, etc., was held with the Mandali and boys. Meanwhile, Baidul's letter from Persia about Aga Ali was received. He wrote, Aga Ali is much troubled. He has stopped eating and is anxious to come to Baba at any cost, with or without his mother. Baba commented, "I will take care of the situation." Later, Baba kissed Ali's photo and remarked, if Ali comes, all my recent irritation and bad moods will subside." Kak Saheb arrived suddenly on the 27th and spoke with Baba the following day, as did Minu Pohoala. Nemo and Adi Jr. on Sunday, 30th March, 1930. Shroff brought his family and friends to Nasik to see Baba, who expounded on the nature of love to them. "Love me, and you will know me. But I am such a reality that it is extremely difficult to know me. The price is love. No repetition of God's name, no penance, and no meditation is necessary. Only love, and such love that it annihilates your ego. This means your love should be so deep that it makes you forget yourself and the world. This experience will leave you desireless, dazed, and confounded. This is real love. You have feeling for me in your hearts, and because of it, you may remember me often during the day, but you do not continuously. This feeling or devotion, though good, is not love. It should not be mistaken for love, because that real love to see and know God cannot be created. It has to be bestowed. It is bestowed through the grace of the Master, and such grace is conferred on a very, very lucky few. Still, don't be discouraged. Although you do not have the love that is needed, although you do not have the love that is needed, you have deep feeling for me. Try always to remember me and to speak of me. This is the best beginning. The determination to be ready to receive the Master's grace. If this continues, a day will come when you will be the lucky one to receive the great gift, the bestowal of my love. To be ready, perpetuate this feeling in your heart and increase it, making it deeper and deeper. How? By remembering me before starting and finishing any work. Think of me before doing anything. If you have to write something, such as an exam paper, remember me before starting and then mentally say, "Baba, it is you, not I, who is writing." A tavern keeper first receives cash from a customer before handing him the wine glass. He checks the coin to ascertain whether it is genuine or counterfeit. Similarly, the Sadguru also demands his price, not in money, but in love, before giving you the gift of love. You can deceive a wine seller by passing him counterfeit coins, but never a Sadguru. He has no use for false coins, the show of love. Here, with me, before the exchange takes place, one has to pay the full price. The price of knowing me is love, love, pure and simple. but love entails pain.
Oh, sorry. Let's see. You went back.
It needs to go down. But love
Yeah.
entails pain. The pain of the pangs and thirst of separation while constantly burning. This gradually minimizes the strength of the ego and eventually destroys it, because love never thinks of or cares for itself. It just burns its victim in love for its beloved. And after this burning, gradually diminishes the ego, and it is eventually totally annihilated. Love makes its victim realize the self. I'm passing on the reading.
Wow, that was a wonderful discourse.
Yeah.
Later that day, Dastur complained to Baba about the lack of privacy in Gaya's manzil. He had been complaining for several days, and Baba got fed up with him and several others. He ordered the Mandali to vacate the manzil within 10 minutes and move to Sarosh Motor Works. All their belongings were immediately removed, piled onto a truck and several buses, and taken to the workshop. Arrangements were made there for the Mandali and boys' accommodations. Pleader was given a separate room the next day. Baba ordered him not to leave it and to remain on only milk and bananas. Although Dastur was also allotted separate quarters for his office in the workshop, he was still not satisfied and was upset by the sudden shift. On 31 March, Dastur said he was going on a hunger strike. Upset by his antics, Baba remarked to the Mandali, he himself commits faults and goes on a hunger strike. He gets upset and blames others. Fasting is good because it reduces anger. If Dastur were to fast for 20 years, he would not even need a master. A Sadguru has no necessity to fast, Baba concluded, but if he fasts, it is for the benefit of others. After a few days, Baba wished to enter seclusion in the forest of Panchgani Valley near Mahabaleshwar. On Wednesday, 2 April 1930, he sent Kalamama to Panchgani in order to arrange things. Until the arrangements were complete, Baba decided to return to Meherbad. Gadikar had also come to Nasik and invited Baba to Sangamner, where he was now working. He introduced his fiancée, Gunatai, either on this visit or another, and Baba agreed to come to Ahmednagar to attend their wedding. Gunatai and Gadikar had met when they were students in Pune. They were later married in Ahmednagar, and Baba attended their wedding along with the Mandali. Gunatai was Gadikar's third wife. Gadikar's first wife had died at Meherbad when he was serving as a teacher in Baba's school, and a second wife had left him soon after their marriage. Baba ordered Pleader to stay in Nasik and continue fasting on milk. He also sent him this message: I am arranging a good place of seclusion for myself and the Mandali. When all is settled, I will send for you. A notice was issued by Baba, which he instructed to be circulated among the Mandali. It read, 3 months after I go into seclusion, I will make Pleader enter the path. Otherwise, he will be free to go anywhere and to do anything he pleases. but he will have no further connection with me. On 2 April, some of the Mandali were feeling depressed and complained to Baba. Staying with you is nothing but harassment. Life is so full of hardships now. There is no other thought in our minds and hearts except death. We look happy to others. We eat and spend time with everyone who comes. But who sees the dagger piercing our hearts? In reply, Baba explained, consoling them, it is my grace. This is my real mercy, which descends on a very, very select few. These are my friends. They are my lovers, to whom I give the gift of sorrow and distress. It is a gift much greater than gold, of incalculable value, and not given to all. This gift is only for my beloved children. We masters can grant a world of gold, of happiness and prosperity to others by our blessings. But this rare and great gift of privations, troubles, and sufferings is destined for only a few. So don't be anxious. Remember that I love most those whose hearts I pierce, and who, though their hearts are wounded, stay with me and stick to me through thick and thin. Were I to use my dagger on outsiders, they would not dare approach me. I keep them happy with praise and encouragement so that they may be in my contact and gradually be fit to bow down to me in the real sense of the word. Marvin? Marvin, are you unmuted? Rosalie, can we go back to you?
For my friends, I kill them, and it is my highest mercy on them. What is my mercy? What is my grace? It is your trouble and harassment. Baba then left Nasik for Meherabad at 4 in the afternoon in 2 trucks with 15 of the Mandali. Along the way, he stopped at Sangamner, where Gadakar had arranged a darshan program. After eating dinner at Gadakar's house, Baba left for Ahmednagar, where he and his men were met at Akbar Press by Nashwan, Kakashahane, and Borkir. They spent the night there and went to Meherabad the following morning. Among those who had been teachers in the school at Meherabad, Ramchandra Gadakar was the one who worked most tirelessly to disseminate Meher Baba's name and messages to people wherever he traveled. He would light Baba's lamp of love in each new vicinity. And this was the reason that for years, Baba wore the sandals made by Gadakar's father, Kandhoba. Those hand-stitched sandals were the medium through which Gadakar and his family were kept at Baba's feet forever. Nashawan Satta was involved with the non-cooperation movement against the British government, agitating for India's independence. On Thursday, 3rd April 1930, while discussing the situation of India with Nashawan, Baba remarked, "The Viceroy, Lord Irwin, British ruler of India, is good-hearted and he cares for the welfare of India. But no one in England has an appreciation for Mahatma Gandhi's ideals. Those politicians in England are not in the least affected, in spite of so much non-cooperation going on in India. India will have independence, but the reaction of all this agitation will greatly harm the country. The rashness of modern youth will prove a calamity. Such impudence and impetuosity are greatly harmful for the spiritual path. The topic shifted to religion, and Baba made these comments. In all religions, the beginning of opposition against the priest class is welcome, because at present, the priest class is the greatest obstacle in the path of spirituality. The rigid and deep-rooted beliefs and prejudices of age-old customs, rites, and rituals, which the priests have inherited, tolerated, and nourished in the name of religion, are the greatest possible impediment. So if the downfall of this junta is brought about, the firmly embedded prejudices and rights will be destroyed. Although there is the risk of people becoming indifferent to God and religion, these can still be revived afterward once these rotting prejudices are uprooted. Mustan was the first must to stay at Meherabad and had been kept there by Baba since 1925. Sidhu was looking after him during 1930. When Baba and the Mandali arrived at Meherabad, Baba embraced Mustan, who was ecstatically happy. Baba remarked, "Here is a soul at peace. He is the only one who does not trouble and harass me. Although he appears to be outwardly unconscious of the world, in reality, he is superconscious. He is aloof from and has nothing to do with the world, remaining always intoxicated in love for God." No sooner had Baba settled back in Meherabad than there was a great demand for his darshan, not only from Arandawan villagers, but from many who had come from Nagar as well. It was noon by the time the darshan finished. Baba led the Mandali up Meherabad Hill in the blazing summer sun, remarking, "The heat is intense, but for my work, I will have to climb up the hill." Sidhu soaked a mosquito net in water, and 4 of the Mandali held it over Baba's head, shading him as he ascended the hill. Baba then told Sidhu to go to Ahmednagar and pick up the mail and any telegrams. In those days, all correspondence for Baba was sent to Akbar Press, and someone from Meherabad would collect it daily. Baba gave this order to Sidhu in the early afternoon, but Sidhu decided to leave for Ahmednagar later when the heat had lessened. After some time, Baba saw Sidhu and asked why he was still there. "The sun is so strong, Baba," Sidhu replied. "I will go after a little while." "Aren't you ashamed to speak to me like that?" Baba snapped. "When I asked you to leave, I meant at that very moment, and you still haven't gone." Sidhu said he would start out immediately. Baba said, "Now, what is the use of going after disobeying me?" Sidhu quietly left, thinking that Baba had no compassion in sending him to Ahmednagar by bicycle in such heat. Shortly thereafter, Baba sent Kalingad in a truck to bring Sidhu back. Baba explained to Sidhu, I am sorry, I truly am merciless. I didn't know what I was doing. Sometimes it happens. If you ever find me behaving like this again, remind me about it. Sidhu asked Baba's forgiveness for not obeying him. Later that day, Baba called all the Mandali and had a serious discussion about the state of his financial affairs. We are short of funds and meeting expenses will be difficult from now on. What should we do?
Oh, sorry.
It needs to be a little lower. It begins Rao Sahib. Rao Sahib spontaneously offered to go to Bombay to raise the money. Splendid. It is a very good idea, Baba gestured. But will you be able to return by tomorrow? You must return within 24 hours. Rao Sahib assured Baba that he would definitely return in time. Rao Sahib promptly left for Bombay, but was unable to return to Meherabad the following day. Baba was impatiently waiting for him and inquired frequently about him. On the third day, Rao Sahib returned, but Baba was not at all pleased to see him. Scowling, Baba asked, why did you fail to show up yesterday? Why did you disobey me? Rao Sahib could not say anything, but silently placed a huge bundle of currency notes at Baba's feet, thinking this would please Baba. But on the contrary, Baba instructed Chuggan, pick up that money and burn it. Chuggan took it, almost 5,000 rupees, and did as he was instructed. Rao Sahib was aghast, as were the other Mandali. $5,000 rupees was a considerable amount of money in 1930. Baba explained, you thought that I would be pleased at seeing the money. What value does money have for me? Even if you place the treasure of the whole world before me, it is nothing but shit to me. You broke my order. I would have been pleased had you not brought the money and returned the day I wished. How can you know what pain you have caused me by breaking my order? I don't want lucre. I want love. Rao Sahib sought Baba's forgiveness. Baba consoled him and then advised, always follow my orders. If you grant me this gift of obedience, no other gift, however valuable, will compare to it. During April 1930, Faram Roj, the Janji working boxwala, 29 of Bombay, came to Meherabad for Baba's darshan with his friend Kodabanda Beram Irani. Kodabanda had met Baba before, but this was Beram's first visit. When Baba called them into the small room he was sitting in at the mess quarters, they noticed Baba leafing through the pages of the Illustrated Weekly of India. Beram thought, how can a Sadhguru who knows everything in the universe be interested in reading magazines? Although Baba was in seclusion and not giving darshan to anyone, surprisingly, he welcomed both men lovingly. He asked Faram about his family, his health, where he worked, how much was his salary, and so forth. Faram told Baba about his recurring asthma, but Baba remarked, I only read magazines and newspapers and do not know anything about such matters. So what can I say? I really don't know why people bother to come to me. These remarks deepened Faram's faith in Baba. Baba instructed Faram and Kordabanda to stay in Meherabad for 2 days, but within minutes, he asked them to depart for Bombay, particularly emphasizing to them not to get down on the station platform at Pune, where the train halted for more than an hour. A year later, Faram moved to Nasik, according to Baba's wishes. Baba had him employed in the Sarosh Motor Works office. From that time forward, Faram, working Boxwala, entire life was dedicated to living according to the master's orders. Faram knew shorthand and wrote down many of Baba's messages verbatim. He later became record keeper to Baba's secretary, Adi Sr. After Baba dropped his body, Faram assisted in the translation of MEHER Prabhu, Lord Meher, from Hindi to English. When Baba and the Mandali had moved to Nasik, only Bomanji and his family were living in Meherabad. According to Baba's instructions, the Bomanji family was in charge of the Meherabad property and was responsible for its maintenance. Soon after Baba returned, Bomanji met with him regarding the property. He poured forth a tale of woe, describing the troubles and hardships his family had to bear in living alone at Meherabad. Baba replied, how lucky you are that I am free to travel on tour and leave everything at Meherabad in your care. Meherabad cannot be vacated, and I will have to keep someone here at present. Because of my trust in you, I have kept you here for the time being. If you have troubles, put up with them. Bear all hardships. They are good for you. What a great thing it is that even in the face of all difficulties, you continue to remain here according to my wish. Baidu returned from Persia with Ali Akbar, arriving at Meherabad on Friday, 4th April, 1930. Baidu told Baba that despite his best efforts, he could not bring Agi Ali because the boy's relatives would not allow him to leave. Baba commented, there is love in Ali, the longing, the sorrow of separation, a disgust with remaining in Persia, and everything else that is necessary. But it remains to be seen whether he listens to me or not. If he follows what I say, it is enough for me. Love means longing. Love means restlessness. Love means harassment. Love means separation. It is all necessary. Baba then directed Baidu to return to Persia after resting in Meherabad for a few months and instructed him further about trying to bring Aga Ali back to India. Bua Saheb was sent to Pune the same day, and Nashawan and Kaka Chinchorkar came to see Baba. On the 6th, Padre and Vishnu brought in a bundle of clothes belonging to the deceased sadhu, Christian Lake, who had died 6 months before. And Baba distributed the garments among the men. Baba offered a pair of trousers to Rao Saheb, who reluctantly said that he had enough pants. His reply displeased Baba, as it was only an excuse because Rao Saheb did not like the idea of wearing someone else's clothing. Baba angrily ordered him, "Put those trousers on right now." Rao Saheb replied that they were too small. Baba gestured, "Even if they don't fit, when I offer you something, you should accept it humbly. You people have to learn humility. Don't answer back like that. Don't go on repeating. This is useless. That is not right. Why are you so proud?" Irritated, Rao Saheb left Baba's presence in a huff. After a short while, Baba sent Chuggan with a garland of flowers for Rao Saheb. This enraged Rao Saheb even more, and he exclaimed to Chuggan, "Pir, Wali, Sadhguru, Murshid, all have left and only Baba remains. But he is beating us with brooms today. Has it affected us in any way? We are still as we were." Rao Saheb's comments meant that even though they had accepted Meher Baba as the sole spiritual authority, he would goad his disciples like this, which they had to endure. Chuggan returned and informed Baba about what Rao Saheb had said. Baba sent for Rao Saheb and reprimanded him. "You animal, why is there so much pride in you? What do you mean by saying such things? No one has left. All Sadhgurus are where they were. It is you who are leaving them. It is no use throwing dust at the sun. It will hurt your own eyes. If you strike glass on a stone, it is the glass which will break into pieces, not the stone. It is not easy using a broom. If I don't use it, how else will your anger be removed? When I use my broom, you have seen how all your dirt, lust, greed, and anger is swept away." Rao Saheb clarified his feelings. "I have no objection to putting on anyone else's clothing, but from childhood, I have been taught that it is wrong." Baba again scolded him, "You fool. It is for this very reason that I have spent so much time with you. Jungly, idiot, you should accept what the master says. You are not required to think about it. This is the reason why priests have such a firm hold over the minds of common people. To eradicate this hold is most difficult. You have been with me for so many years, and see how firmly your upbringing is still rooted in you. If you don't listen now, you will be born as a frog in your next birth. Now will you listen to me?" This comment made Rao Saheb smile, and he apologized for his behavior. The next day, Baba called at 6 a.m. a meeting with Rao Sahib, Vishnu, and Chanji. He sent Vishnu to Nasik and then to Panchgani to help in arrangements for Baba's coming visit there. Chanji was sent to Bombay in connection with bringing Aga Ali from Persia. Chanji was to see Ali's father in Bombay and make him agree to some decision about Ali's return, so that Baidu might not face more difficulties in bringing him to India. Baba instructed Rao Sahib to go to Nasik also, and then to Bombay to help Chanji. 3 days later, on Wednesday, 9th April 1930, Baba with a group of 18, which included Rao Sahib, Chagan, Kalemama, Gustaji, Jalbai, Chanji, and Kalingad, and a few other boys, took a bus to Panchgani. They were the guests of Rao Sahib Pandit, the principal of the Hindu high school. The Mandali stayed in specially constructed grass huts near the school, and Baba was given a room inside the school. The Hindu high school in Panchgani is now known as Sanjeevan Vidyalaya. Visiting Tiger Valley in Panchgani the next day, Baba selected a spot in the forest for his seclusion. Baba instructed Kalemama to have a cave dug there and have it ready within a month. Kalemama was an engineer, promptly proceeded with the work and began drawing up the excavation plans. Huts were to be built in the valley for Baba, the Mandali, and the boys. Baba then stated, on 15th May, I will enter seclusion. 4 of you will sit with me in seclusion, but will be separated. 4 others will keep watch day and night on both sides of the cave, including myself. All 9 of us will have to fast on milk. No one else but Chagan will approach me for special instruction. I will give up the use of the alphabet board during this period and will not see anyone. I will not even see the 4 watchmen. There will be a stop to all darshan and correspondence. I have decided to follow this program for 6 months, after which I will come out of seclusion. All should be on guard and attentive. Simply my pondering of this seclusion during the last few days has in itself given rise to strikes, religious agitation by the untouchable, and political agitation by groups clamoring for independence all over India. If only my thinking of and planning this seclusion has made these disturbances erupt, how can you have any idea of what will happen by my actual entering into seclusion? Be prepared to hear of bloodshed. There will be severe tension between the Hindus and Muslims. Antagonism between the higher and lower caste Hindus will prevail. Gandhi's followers will be on one side, and those who oppose him, including the government, Muslims, and even half of the Hindu population, untouchables, on the other side. his movement will be a failure, creating severe alienation between different parties, communities, and against the government, resulting in unprecedented bloodshed. A telegram was then sent to Ardashir in Persia to bring Aga Ali. Baba later instructed Chuggan to find a few good boys in the area. Chuggan brought 3 lads, but Baba did not approve of any. Besides working on the cave, Baba also asked Kali Mama to bring a boy from Panchgani. On Friday, 11 April, Kali Mama was sent to Savantwadi to talk with the Maharaja there. Tiger Valley was under the Maharaja's jurisdiction, and permission was required before the digging work could begin. Baba remarked, "Who knows whether the Maharaja will permit me to use this place? If he permits it, it would be better. Otherwise, we will have to leave." The Maharaja is a good king and devotional. He used to visit Swami Siddharud and is interested in the path. Swami Siddharud was a Hindu saint whose tomb is in Shalapur, Maharashtra. Upon request, the Maharaja did permit Kali Mama to construct a cave in Tiger Valley and expressed his wish to dedicate it to Meher Baba. Meanwhile, when Chuggan was out looking for a boy, he spotted a handsome youth working in a restaurant in Wai. He asked the boy if he would come with him to Panchgani, and the boy replied he would first have to ask his employer. Finally, after much persuasion, the manager agreed. Chuggan brought the boy to Baba, who at first liked him very much. But after a few minutes, Baba disapprovingly noticed a small cut on the boy's leg and directed Chuggan, "Take the boy to Meherabad, where Padri can treat his wound. Tell Padri to bring him to Panchgani once the wound is healed." Chuggan was puzzled by Baba's instructions. As the boy's injuries seemed minor, he wondered why Baba was making such a fuss, forcing him to take the boy all the way to Meherabad, when a local doctor could easily have treated the wound. But he did not say anything, and before he left, Baba further instructed him to be sure to contact Sadashiv Patil in Pune on the way and deliver a message, which Baba dictated. Chuggan left Panchgani with the boy, whose name was Yusuf. In Pune, as he was nearing Sadashiv's house, a Muslim woman who was filling her water vessels at a public well saw the boy and suddenly began calling out, "Yusuf, Yusuf!" She came running to the boy, embraced him, and cried, "Yusuf, my son, where have you been? I can't believe it is really you. I have been longing for the sight of you day and night for years. My son, have you forgotten your own mother?" A crowd gathered, and Chuggan could not understand what was happening. He grew frightened by the presence of so many people and forced his way to Sadashiv's house, where he described the situation to him. Sadashiv approached the woman and questioned her. He found out the woman's only son had disappeared from home 5 years before, and she and her husband's search had proved fruitless. The parents were overwrought with distress at their failure to locate their lost child. Grief-stricken, they had all but given up hope of ever seeing him again. Chuggan then asked Sadashiv, "What am I to do now? Baba's order was to take the boy to Meherabad." Sadashiv sent a telegram to Baba explaining the situation. Baba's reply promptly came, instructing Chuggan to leave the boy with his parents and return to Panchgani. Only then did Chuggan understand why Baba had sent him on this journey. The message Baba had given Chuggan to convey to Sadashiv was nothing important, but Baba wished to reunite the child with his heartbroken parents. And I think I'm through reading. I think it's 132.
Okay. So I'll just go to the next page. A few months before, Baba had paid a brief, unscheduled visit to the Kolhapur High School, which he liked very much. So next week we start on page 1168.